All right, everybody, welcome in to another edition of Keeping Up with Southside Athletics. And at this time, we are here with Coach Holderfield, head coach of the boys here at Southside and former teammate of mine, Coach. Yeah. We had some good times back in the day at Sardis High School. Got to play together, and don't tell any of my stories because they weren't all good ones, I can promise you that. But, Coach, you know, you've been here at Southside for a while. You know the community, you know the players, you know the parents. I mean, you do a really good job here. What year is this for you now at Southside?
I've taught at Southside for 20 years. I've been the head basketball coach for 11. This is my 11th year as head basketball coach.
I remember the days when you were at Litchfield coming up and teaching.
Yeah, my first year out of college, I was at Quarry Middle School, which is now Litchfield Middle School, for a year. My older brother taught at Litchfield High School and was a football coach, and so I got a job there coaching junior high football and junior high basketball, and then went to West End for 3 years after that, and then I've been here since.
This has got to be home to you now. I know you live not too far from me in Rainbow City, but what's your experience been like since you've been here at Southside?
This is, you know, people make fun of me when I say it or laugh at me when I say it, but like this has genuinely been a dream situation for me. Like to be in a community that's you know, a place where I can raise my kids and my kids can go to school, in a community that I love to teach at and love to coach at, and you know, being involved in you know, church and those sort of things. Just, it's been a great experience. We've always had great administration, great faculty and people to work with, but more than anything else, just fantastic kids.
It goes all the way up to Alan Cosby, in my opinion. He does a really good job as superintendent at Etowah County Schools.
Yeah, Etowah County Schools is fantastic. Like, it's just a wonderful place to work at. Great support, family feel, family type environment. It's just a wonderful place to work.
Well, let's dive into this team. I know you had some really good players graduate last year. We can start with, you know, who left and who's coming back for you, and maybe some new faces.
Okay. Yeah, we had, you know, a couple of really good players for us last year. Will Shirley graduated and is now playing at Huntington. And then Brenton Heath was our point guard, started point guard for us for 2 years, graduated. So I lost some key guys. We have several returning players, but we've kind of, I don't know how much you guys have followed. I know you followed our football program, but we've kind of been bitten by the injury bug during football season.
That's correct.
So we had a couple of returning starters in Gage Neesmith and Scotty Moats, who will be injured and miss large portion, if not most all of the season with knee injuries. We also have a returner in Reed Robinson, who suffered a knee injury over the summer. He'll be back, but it's still probably a few weeks away. So just that we have a great couple of classes, like our senior class, our junior class, sophomore class, and really our freshman class too, all the way down through our middle school programs, our 7th and 8th grade teams. We have some very good groups coming. We need some experience, but it's definitely some good groups to kind of build a core around going forward.
You know, it's very unfortunate. You know, you like some coaches like to share players, some coaches don't like to share players. On this aspect of it, yeah, it's bad. You're losing 2 starters, but it's real awful for them young men, man.
There's nothing in the world that, you know, we've been through this several times over the years. We've had a couple of really key players that have had major injuries over the last 4 or 5 years and missed large portions, if not all, of seasons. And you know, as much as it's hard from a competitive standpoint, especially for a senior, you don't want to see those guys lose their senior year. And so my heart goes out to those guys. They're still very involved in our, Gage and Scotty were both at our practice yesterday cheering everybody on, and like those guys have handled it as well, but your heart just goes out for them. You know they're hurting.
Yeah, it's a very bad situation. Both of them came from great families as well, and I'm sure their families is suffering too, because they got to watch their you know, kids be on the sidelines and not get to participate, but they are participating, being out there.
Right.
But when you have injuries, it opens the door for other guys. So who are some of these guys you got to have step up in those roles?
Well, you know, Cade McMichael is back for us. He was a starter last year as a returner. Really need him to be kind of a core player for us. Played a lot of minutes last year. He really
improved as a football player.
Really good shooter. And just his physicality and strength and maturity physically has really been big during football season. I think you'll see that in basketball too. Again, I mentioned Reed Robinson earlier. who played some minutes last year for us on varsity, is going to step into a bigger role this year. Again, it'll be a few weeks before he's back and healthy and 100%. But I think a lot of leadership has to come from those two guys. We have a very good junior class, a group of guys that are only going to get better. They just need experience. They just need to play some varsity minutes. But guys like Caden Reason and Mason Stevens, Silas Osborne, Hayes Cosby, Connor Holderfield, like there's a good group, a core group of guys in there that I think just the more they play, the better they're going to get. So
it's an interesting situation when you got youth like that. Sometimes when they get in there, and you've seen it when you played, you see it as you coach, sometimes they don't know no better. They may come in there and play with their hair on fire, especially if they're a good group and they're used to winning.
Yeah, it's a group. We keep a ninth grade team. We have a ninth grade team, and that's getting harder and harder. Officials, just the price of officials have gone up so much, and you're paying for games and stuff. You don't see very many schools doing it anymore, and we do it, and we try to keep a good relationship with the other schools around here that do it, so that even if we're maybe not even playing in varsity games, we try to fit a few ninth grade games in with those teams.
That's good.
And so because of that, more of our ninth grade games end up being against bigger schools.
Yep.
So a lot of our ninth grade teams have kind of been thrown to the wolves. We've played schools like Oak Mountain and Hewitt Trustful and Mountain Brook and schools like that over the last few years in some ninth grade games just to get those guys some experience. So they've been in some big environments. It's at that level, but still I hope and I do believe that playing against some of the best competition in the state has definitely prepared them. Even though they hadn't played a whole lot of varsity minutes, they've still been in some really high-level basketball games that I think will translate the more they get on the floor.
Can't put a price tag on that either. Experience, especially experience against somebody really good. There's no price tag. Money don't buy that. You either have it or you don't. Do you guys tip off Friday as well as the girls?
We do. We play Friday night at Hoax Bluff.
So what do you got to get done between now and Friday to have the guys ready?
We practiced Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. Today's Wednesday. We'll practice again tomorrow. So it's been a quick turnaround. Now, we have a lot of guys that don't play football. I'd probably say half, maybe. So we have a gym full of guys that about half of our gym are on. I think we're on practice 24 today.
That's good.
But then on the flip side, you got a handful of guys that are on practice 4 or 5.
Yeah,
So. A few weeks into this, you'll look at me and you'll say, what do you guys need to get better at? And I'll have a list of things. But right now, the answer to that's everything. We need to work on everything. So it's just come out here today, play a lot of 5-on-5, make sure we got stuff in and we're ready to play a game and just get over those nerves and those, kind of knock off some of that rust and just try to improve at everything.
A couple more questions. I'll let you go. I know you got practice coming up. The difference in football shape and basketball shape, if you can describe that to people who may be watching this. The guys have come out and you've seen them run and stuff. How far away are they?
Most of our guys that are basketball, football guys are skill players in football. So their shape is always pretty good. It's not great, but it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Now we have a couple. I have a ninth grader, Rance Brown, who went through a ninth grade basketball practice the other day, and he was struggling at the end of it. So it's football is kind of we're going to go full speed for 45 seconds, then we're going to stop for a few minutes. Whereas basketball is just like it's multiple efforts.
That's right.
So it's that, and again, we kind of forsake a lot of drill work early in the season right now, and it's a lot of just 5-on-5 up and down, and it's maybe ugly at times, but I think it's the best way to get us ready, game ready, and to kind of get us in shape. So,
final thoughts before we shut this particular episode down.
We've got an exciting basketball team. We've got a group of guys that are ultra committed. Like we got guys that have just knocked the door down all year long to be in the gym and work and pick up games and get shots up and are hungry to be good. And so it's going to be a fun bunch of guys to watch. We have a great deal of collective unity. They're all for each other, which has made it very fun to coach. I think they're going to be a fun bunch of guys to watch.
That's good. Well, Coach, we appreciate you sitting in on this first episode of Keeping Up with Southside Athletics. You and Coach Bowen as well, and we'll be back here each and every week to bring you a new episode. Thank you guys so much for watching.
Thank you.